How would you describe your Stanford experience now?
It was a fantastic experience, and I was probably underprepared for it. When I arrived on campus, I think I was just amazed and a little bit out of my depth with how sophisticated the American kids were. Because in a more traditional education, and I didn't do Chinese school all the way through, but I think traditional Chinese values around studying is you study. But the American education is very much about you learn to socialize, you do extracurricular activities, you do sports, you do volunteering, you go get an internship. A lot of things that historically maybe Chinese parents would have said, that's distracting from your studies, don't do that. But when I arrived at school, 18-year-olds, meeting each other at orientation saying, hey, let's do lunch. And I'm like, oh, what is do lunch, right? Like, what does that mean? Yeah. And then I realized probably later than I would have liked that doing lunch is how you make friends and get things done. Yeah. That it's not just about what grade you can get and finding the right answer, that it's a lot more about the social skills.
How was it for you in Chinese school? Different? What did you do for socializing?
You don't. You study, maybe you do homework at a younger age. You still have time to do homework with your friends. But it's similar, I think, to Singapore, right? A lot of parents whose kids are in MOE schools say that the children's lives revolve around school, enrichment, examination, right? And the enrichments are not built to foster social collaboration, for example, right? It's to teach you a skill, right? Go to Chinese tuition, go to English tuition, go to writing, composition tuition. Maybe you do public speaking, but that's still somewhat an academic endeavor. I enjoyed Chinese school because when I was younger, I was very much organized, and I think that's the genetic part. My father was very organized, so I'm also very organized. I was competitive. I wanted to get the best grades. And I really, really enjoyed Stanford immensely. I went back for the first time. It was my 20th year reunion last year. I still felt the same, wow, I was so lucky to go there. And I made that choice without ever seeing it. I didn't really know much. I kind of looked at a map of the US and said, okay, my parents say I should go to school here. What are the choices? And somebody told me, well, if you go to California, you can drive a few hours and ski and then drive in the opposite direction and go to the beach. And I kind of was like, that sounds cool. I want to go there. And back in those days, most Chinese parents only knew one university in the US, and it was Harvard. So I think that was a bit of a rebel choice on my part. And I'm glad I made it because it was perfect. California was perfect for me at that time.